Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the swirling controversy surrounding veteran actress Lee Gran and her recent social media storm that's got everyone talking. In the world of daytime television, where drama unfolds both on screen and off, Lee Gran, beloved for her portrayal of Alexis Davis on ABC's General Hospital, has found herself at the center of a heated debate. It all started with a single Instagram post that many interpreted as a harsh judgment on the tragic death of conservative commentator Kirk. Grahn, known for her sharp wit and unfiltered opinions, shared a message that read, "I am not in support of what happened to Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk was in support of what happened to Charlie Kirk." This cryptic statement, posted shortly after news of Kirk's assassination broke, immediately sparked outrage across social platforms. Fans and critics alike saw it as Grahn implying that Kirk's own political stances and rhetoric had somehow contributed to his untimely demise, turning a moment of national mourning into a pointed political jab, adding fuel to the fire. Some observers noted that Grahn has a history of weaving her progressive views into public discourse, often using her platform to champion causes like women's rights and social justice. But this time, the timing felt particularly insensitive, as Kirk's family and supporters were still grappling with the shock. Inventing a new layer to this narrative, imagine if Grahn had followed up with a clarifying story about her intentions, perhaps drawing from her own experiences in the entertainment industry where words can be twisted, like plot twists in a soap opera. Yet, no such clarification came immediately, leaving room for speculation that her words were a deliberate echo of broader societal tensions. The backlash was swift and unrelenting, with waves of criticism flooding in from all corners of the internet. Conservative voices, in particular, accused Grahn of victim blaming, arguing that no matter one's political leanings, a tragedy like an assassination deserves empathy rather than accusation. Even some of her longtime admirers, who appreciate her boldness on issues like climate change and equality, expressed disappointment, feeling that the post crossed an invisible line into cruelty. Social media threads exploded with debates, some users creating memes that juxtaposed Gran's General Hospital character, a fierce lawyer always fighting for justice, with this real-life controversy, highlighting the irony. To expand on this, let's consider how this incident mirrors larger patterns in celebrity culture, where stars like Grahn, who has been a fixture on the show since 1996, risk their carefully built reputations by diving into polarizing topics. Rumors began circulating almost instantly that ABC executives were monitoring the situation closely, whispering about potential repercussions for the network's image. Inventing a fresh detail here, suppose internal memos leaked suggesting that fan petitions were already being organized, demanding Grahn issue an apology or face boycotts of the show. This isn't just about one post. It's a culmination of Gran's recent string of politically charged comments, from critiquing right-wing policies to endorsing progressive candidates, which have increasingly drawn ire from viewers who tune in for escapism, not editorials. Delving deeper into the public's reaction, it's clear that Gran's words struck a raw nerve because they seemed to politicize a deeply personal loss. Kirk, a prominent figure in conservative media known for his fiery debates on college campuses and advocacy for traditional values, had built a massive following, and his death sent shockwaves through political circles. Critics pointed out that Gran's remark, while perhaps intended as a commentary on hypocrisy, came across as lacking compassion, especially when compared to how other celebrities handled similar tragedies with messages of unity. For instance, some drew parallels to past incidents where public figures stayed silent or offered neutral condolences, avoiding the pitfalls Grahn seemingly stepped into. Adding inventive elements, picture a scenario where fellow General Hospital cast members privately reached out to Grahn, offering support while advising caution, fearing the fallout could affect the show's ratings amid an already competitive daytime slot. The divide was evident. A portion of her followers rallied in defense, claiming that Kirk's promotion of divisive ideologies, such as those allegedly normalizing aggression, made Gran's point valid, even if bluntly phrased. However, others questioned if her tone revealed a hint of schadenfreude, wondering aloud whether the actress was more focused on scoring political points than expressing genuine sorrow. This has led to broader discussions about the role of entertainers in politics, with some arguing that stars like Grahn, who command loyal fan bases, have a responsibility to bridge divides rather than widen them. Gran's outspoken nature isn't new. She's been a vocal advocate for progressive causes for years, using her influence to spotlight issues like gun control and LGBTQ rights. Yet, this latest episode has amplified concerns that her online activity might be jeopardizing her professional standing. Rumors are rife that ABC General Hospital could be considering her dismissal, fueled by reports of viewer complaints pouring into the network. Sources close to the production thought unverified suggest that executives are weighing the impact on the show's family-friendly reputation, especially as soap operas strive to remain neutral ground for diverse audiences. Inventing a new twist. Envision a behind-the-scenes meeting where producers debate the merits of keeping Grahn, whose character Alexis has been central to major storylines involving legal battles and family dramas, versus the risk of alienating conservative-leaning fans. This isn't the first time Grahn has courted controversy. Past tweets criticizing political figures have sparked minor uproars, but none as intense as this. The repetition of such incidents has led to speculation that her contract might include clauses about public conduct, potentially putting her role in jeopardy. For fans who've followed her journey from her early days on Santa Barbara to her Emmy-winning performances on General Hospital, this feels like a pivotal moment that could redefine her legacy. The incident also highlights the growing chasm between Hollywood's liberal leanings and conservative audiences, a divide that's become more pronounced in recent years. Grahn's post, by using Kirk's death as a springboard for critique, exemplified how celebrities can inflame tensions rather than foster dialogue. Supporters of Kirk argued that her words disrespected not just the man, but the principles he stood for, like free speech and traditional values. On the flip side, Grahn's defenders maintained that she was merely highlighting the consequences of inflammatory rhetoric, pointing to Kirk's own history of controversial statements, adding depth with an invented analysis. Consider how this mirrors soap opera tropes themselves. Think of the dramatic reveals and betrayals on General Hospital, where characters like Alexis often navigate moral gray areas, much like Grahn is doing in real life. Social media algorithms only amplified the outrage, pushing the story into trending topics and drawing in commentators from all sides. This has prompted calls for more measured online behavior from public figures, with some suggesting that Grahn could benefit from a social media hiatus to refocus on her craft. For an actress with decades of goodwill accumulated through heartfelt performances and fan interactions, this controversy serves as a stark reminder of social media's double-edged sword. One ill-timed post can eclipse years of positive contributions, alienating viewers who once cheered for her character's triumphs. In the tight-knit world of daytime soaps, where loyalty runs deep, Grahn's situation has fans divided, some vowing to stand by her, others threatening to switch channels. Inventing a forward-looking element. Perhaps this could lead to a storyline on General Hospital that subtly addresses freedom of speech or political fallout, allowing Grahn to channel the drama into her work. As the dust settles, the question remains, will Grahn weather this storm, or will it mark the end of an era for one of the show's most enduring stars? Rumors of her potential firing continue to swirl, tied directly to the damage her political commentary is perceived to be inflicting on the show's brand. Only time will tell if ABC decides to take action, but for now, the conversation is far from over, keeping General Hospital in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Wrapping up this deep dive, it's evident that Lee Gran's bold foray into political commentary has ignited a firestorm that's testing the boundaries of celebrity influence. Whether this leads to professional consequences or simply fades into the background, it underscores the power and peril of a single statement in today's connected world. We will dive into the sizzling drama surrounding Carly Spencer's potential plot to derail the budding romance between Jason Morgan and Britt Westburn. In the ever-twisting world of Port Charles, tensions are rising as Carly Spencer eyes the rekindling spark between her longtime best friend Jason Morgan and the enigmatic Britt Westburn. With growing suspicion, fresh off their high-stakes adventure in Croatia, where Jason pulled off daring rescues amid chaos, Britt remains guarded, unwilling to overlook how Jason's loyalties always seem to circle back to Carly and her inner circle. Imagine the scene: bullets flying at the Five Poppies resort, Jason racing against time, yet he pauses to ensure Jocelyn Jack's safety before circling back for Britt. It's a testament to his unyielding priorities, but also a sore point for Britt, who feels like she's perpetually playing second fiddle. Despite this, Jason's genuine concern shines through. Didn't just save her life, he forged a deeper bond in those perilous moments. whispering assurances as they escape the crumbling hideout. Britt publicly declares she's done with him, but her lingering glances and subtle hesitations betray a heart that's far from over the rugged hitman. As they return to the familiar streets of Port Charles, that undeniable chemistry pulls them together like magnets, setting the stage for more heated encounters and perhaps even stolen moments. Under the city's neon lights, Carly, ever the protective force in Jason's life, isn't one to sit idly by as this connection intensifies. Her rivalry with Britt has deep roots, fueled not just by personal grudges, but also by her staunch support for Lulu Spencer. In their ongoing feud, think heated confrontations at the Metro Court, where words cut like knives and alliances shift like sand. Carly might take it upon herself to issue a stern warning to Britt, pulling her aside in a dimly lit corner of the hospital, her voice low and laced with authority, urging the doctor to back off from Jason for good. But Carly's instincts scream otherwise. She senses the embers of romance flickering back to life, perhaps spotting them sharing a quiet coffee at Kelly's diner or exchanging knowing smiles during a charity event. This isn't new territory for Carly. She's confessed to bouts of jealousy before, recalling times when Britt's sharp wit and undeniable allure made her feel like an outsider in her own friendship with Jason. Now, with Jason's heroic Croatia exploits fresh in everyone's mind, Carly's envy could erupt into something more calculated, like subtly planting seeds of doubt in Jason's ear about Britt's past indiscretions, or her family's notorious history with the Casadinis. As Jason and Britt's paths continue to cross in Port Charles, the opportunities for deeper connections multiply. Picture Jason stepping in during a medical crisis at General Hospital, his strong presence calming Britt as she operates under pressure, their hands brushing in a moment of shared relief. Or perhaps a late-night stakeout where Jason confides in her about his turbulent past, revealing vulnerabilities he's only ever shown to a select few. These bonding sessions, laced with adrenaline and unspoken desires, could draw them closer. Much to Carly's dismay, she's no stranger to the town's undercurrents, having navigated her own share of heartbreaks and schemes. Convinced that Britt's influence spells trouble, maybe tying Jason back into dangerous mob entanglements or distracting him from his protective duties toward the Spencer family, Carly might escalate her interference, inventing a scenario where she accidentally leaks fabricated rumors about Britt's involvement in a shady medical trial, or orchestrating a setup where Jason witnesses Britt in a compromising position with an old flame. Carly could weave a web of deception designed to shatter their fragile trust. The stakes are high, and Carly's sneaky side is legendary in Port Charles circles. Remember her past maneuvers, like the time she manipulated evidence to protect her loved ones or outwitted rivals with clever alibis. Applying that same cunning here, she might enlist unwitting allies, such as Sam McCall, to gather intel on Britt's movements, or even stage a Fox emergency that forces Jason to choose between his loyalty to Carly and his growing affection for Britt. If Jason starts falling harder, perhaps after a romantic getaway to a secluded cabin outside town, where they finally address their unresolved feelings, Carly's fears would only intensify. She envisions a future where Jason's entanglement with Britt leads to heartbreak, betrayal, or worse, pulling him away from the life he's rebuilt post his presumed death. In her mind, Britt represents chaos, a wild card with a history of lies and family curses that could endanger everyone Carly holds dear. General Hospital fans are buzzing with anticipation over how this triangle unfolds. Will Carly's sabotage succeed in keeping Jason single and devoted to her? Or will the magnetic pull between him and Britt prove unbreakable? As the storyline progresses, expect more twists, like surprise revelations about Britt's secret vulnerability, shares a hidden illness that Jason helps her confront, her Carly's own internal struggle with guilt over meddling in her friend's happiness. The closer Jason and Britt grow, sharing intimate dinners or teaming up against a common enemy like the lingering threats from Peter August's legacy, the more desperate Carly might become. She could go so far as to fabricate evidence of Britt's disloyalty, planting anonymous tips that reach Jason's ears, or even confronting Britt directly in an explosive showdown at the Quartermain mansion, where accusations fly and old wounds reopen. Ultimately, this brewing conflict highlights the complex web of relationships in Port Charles, where love, loyalty, and betrayal intermingle. Carly's determination to protect Jason from what she perceives as a disastrous match could backfire spectacularly, perhaps straining their unbreakable bond or pushing Jason straight into Britt's arms for good. As spoilers tease, Carly will grapple with the fear of bad news if Jason pursues a future with Britt envisioning scenarios where Britt's Casadini ties resurface, dragging Jason into international intrigue or forcing him to relive his hitman days. Stay tuned to ABC General Hospital for the explosive developments, as Carly plots her moves in the shadows, determined to halt this romance before it consumes them all. What do you think? Will Carly's schemes prevail, or will true love find a way? Next, we will explore the electrifying buzz surrounding a potential game-changing character return that's setting the fandom on fire. In the whirlwind of Port Charles intrigue, whispers are growing louder about a stunning comeback that could upend everything we know, with all eyes on Ryan Pavey possibly stepping back into the role of the fan favorite Nathan West. Since Nathan's heartbreaking exit in 2018, when he fell victim to the villainous Caesar Faison, viewers have mourned the loss of this charismatic detective. But soap operas thrive on impossible revivals, and this one feels perfectly timed. Imagine the shockwaves if Nathan emerges from the shadows, perhaps orchestrated by the shadowy World Security Bureau, who might have faked his death to shield him from Faison's lingering network of enemies. Or picture a more elaborate twist: Nathan held captive in a remote facility, much like his sister Britt Westburn's past ordeals, enduring years of isolation while plotting his escape. With Maxie Jones currently lying in a coma after a devastating heart attack, Nathan's reappearance could serve as the ultimate catalyst, his voice breaking through her unconscious state in a hospital room filled with beeping monitors and anxious loved ones, pulling her back to the land of the living. This isn't just speculation. Fans are piecing together clues from Pavey's own hints about a meaty storyline, suggesting a return packed with emotional depth and high-stakes drama. As Port Charles grapples with fresh threats, like the menacing Jen Sidwell lurking on the horizon, Nathan could swoop in as a protector, safeguarding his son James from dangers that echo his own turbulent past, all while rekindling bonds that time couldn't erase. The ripple effects of such a resurrection would hit hardest for Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri, positioning them at the epicenter of this explosive development. As Maxie's closest confidant and a key figure in the Spencer family web, Lulu, fresh from her own grueling recovery from a coma, might find herself torn between elation for her best friend's miracle and a flood of complicated emotions. Envision Lulu pacing the corridors of General Hospital, her mind racing with memories of Nathan's heroism and the void his death left, only to confront the reality of his survival, which could unearth buried grief over her own losses, like the dissolution of her marriage to Dante. Dante, with his sharp detective skills honed from years on the force, would likely dive headfirst into investigating this supposed miracle, his badge gleaming under the precinct lights as he pores over old case files, questioning whether this Nathan is the real deal, or a cunning imposter mimicking Faison's deceptive tactics. Jealousy could simmer beneath the surface too, as Dante reflects on Maxie's enduring love for her late husband, perhaps during quiet moments at home with their son Rocco, where old photos stir up insecurities about his place in this evolving family dynamic. Their shared world might fracture under the strain, with Lulu offering Nathan support through heartfelt conversations about resilience and second chances, potentially straining her fragile reconciliation efforts with Dante, as suspicions and old rivalries bubble up in unexpected ways. Young James West, who has grown up without ever knowing his father, stands to gain the most from this twist. Yet it could also introduce heart-wrenching confusion into his innocent world. Picture the little boy, surrounded by toys in the Jones household, hearing stories of his dad's bravery from doting grandparents, only to suddenly meet the man himself, Nathan, kneeling down to eye level, his familiar West family features mirrored in James's face, forging an instant, profound connection. This reunion might spark joyful milestones, like Nathan teaching James to ride a bike in the park or sharing tales of his detective adventures. But it could also disrupt the stable life James has built with his mother and her current partner. The potential for a custody skirmish looms large, especially if Maxie awakens to a divided heart, weighing her history with Nathan against the present, leading to tense family gatherings where allegiances are tested and young James navigates the pull between two father figures. Adding layers to this, Nathan's return might reveal hidden facets of his time away, such as secret training with international agents that honed his skills, making him an even more formidable guardian for James amid Port Charles's underbelly of crime and conspiracy. Damian Spinelli, Maxie's devoted current love interest, would find his position precariously challenged by the ghost of her past suddenly made flesh. Known for his tech-savvy sleuthing and quirky charm, Spinelli has carved out a niche in Maxie's life, supporting her through triumphs and tragedies. But Nathan's revival could ignite a powder keg of jealousy. As Spinelli confronts the idealized legacy of Maxie's true love, imagine Spinelli hunched over his laptop in a dimly lit room, hacking into databases to verify Nathan's story, his fingers flying across the keys while doubts gnaw at him, fears that Nathan's heroic aura might eclipse his own more cerebral contributions to the family. If Nathan expresses a desire to reclaim his role as husband and father, perhaps after a dramatic confrontation in the park where he declares his undying commitment, Spinelli could face an emotional reckoning, questioning his future with Maxie and potentially sparking rivalries that play out in public forums. Like the floating rib, where friends take sides, this tension might extend to Spinelli's alliances, drawing in characters like Sam McCall for investigative backup, as he grapples with the possibility of stepping aside for what Maxie might see as destiny fulfilled. Broader impacts would cascade through the Port Charles community, with figures like Liesl Obrecht erupting in ecstatic relief at the return of her cherished son-in-law, her dramatic flair amplifying family reunions filled with tears and toasts at the Metro Court. Nina Reeves, entangled in her own web of secrets involving Willow, might view Nathan's comeback as a stabilizing force or a complication, perhaps seeking his counsel on navigating maternal bonds amid revelations. The entire canvas could shift, with Nathan's survival story exposing long-buried WSB operations or ties to other resurrected characters, like a clandestine network that once hid Drew Kane. Fans are theorizing wildly about how this unconfirmed bombshell aligns with ongoing chaos, such as Maxie's health crisis serving as the perfect trigger for Nathan's emergence, maybe even involving a mysterious visitor at her bedside who turns out to be him in disguise. If Pave's return materializes as Nathan, it promises to blend nostalgia with fresh turmoil, questioning whether joy can triumph over reopened wounds, or if suspicion will fracture fragile peace. As this speculation builds, General Hospital enthusiasts are on the edge of their seats, debating the possibilities in online forums and fan gatherings. Will Nathan's revival heal old scars, providing Maxie with a second chance at happiness and James with a complete family? Or will it unleash a storm of doubt, jealousy, and hidden agendas? The tease of a major character surprise this week fuels the fire, hinting at scenes where Nathan bursts into the hospital, his presence a beacon of hope amid beeping machines and worried faces. Port Charles has seen its share of comebacks, but this one could redefine relationships, forcing characters like Lulu and Dante to reassess their paths, while Spinelli fights to hold on to his place. Stay locked in for more updates as the drama unfolds. Could this be the twist that jolts Maxie from her coma, or is set up for even bigger revelations tied to Sidwell's threats? Share your predictions in the comments, and remember to hit that subscribe button for all the latest scoops.